Hey Life Groupers, welcome to Life Groups. So today we are talking about when the bush is on fire. And so hopefully you join me on Sunday and heard the message, and not only just heard it, but really fed on the message, ate what we talked about. Sometimes you and I, when we hear stories we've heard before, we don't take as much time to really think about, debate, talk about the story, and we go like, oh, I know that story, but I hope I challenged you, because God really challenged me on this one as we looked at the story. And we took some time, and we started off, we talked about Moses' background and his bringing up. And I would suggest for you that you just quickly go over that again. Just don't assume everybody understands the Moses story up until Exodus chapter 3. But really take a little bit of time and talk about that. Then read Exodus chapter 3, verses 1 through 6, and get an idea of the burning bush moment. We're not going to get into the conversation that Moses has with the bush, or specifically with Jesus. Again, angel of the Lord. If you missed on Sunday, hopefully you'll pay attention and you'll read that. It's really important to understand when Jesus shows up in the Old Testament what he's doing. So hopefully you'll take some time and read the remainder of Exodus chapter 3 and 4 to really get an understanding of what God was calling for Moses. But today, in your life groups, I want you to take some time and really break down, get in the mindset of Moses. And you know what? It's good to put yourself in the story a little bit and think about if I was 80 and if I had been raised as an Egyptian, and a Hebrew, and now I'm living in Midian, married to a Midianite woman. I have 2 children. You know, what would that look like? What would that feel like? And really begin to challenge yourself on this idea of learning to turn aside. What does that mean? What does that look like in your life? And one of the things that I just really want to caution you on as we talk about this. Sometimes people think of burning bush as only an opportunity, only a big thing that God is doing. I believe that God does a lot, and I mean a lot of little things in our lives, trying to get our attention. He's not always doing these massive, hey, look, there's a burning bush over there. Look, that's so awesome. But these moments when he does things, and sometimes they're things that we won't even notice, but if we get some spiritual eyes on, if we start to look and we say, I'm going to turn and look, I think we'd be surprised how many times God is trying to speak to us. And remember, as you read that, pay attention that God didn't speak until Moses decided, I'm going to turn aside, I'm going to look. So talk about, what does it mean to turn aside? What does that look like in your life? Take time to think about and process this and really engage with the text. Engage with what God is trying to do. Because can I just tell you, from Genesis to Revelation, it's God's mercy and grace upon us. He's saying, I love you. My desires for you. But as I ended my sermon on Sunday, I stood there and I made this statement that I believe that God was telling me right there at that moment to stand there as a burning bush in front of all of you and tell you that God created you, specifically created you. His hand is upon you. He's made you. You are a marvelous creation created by God to do incredible things beyond your imagination. But you've got to learn to turn aside and to let God speak and speak into your life, because he knows who you are. He knows where you're at, and he knows what you were created for. So I love you. I'm excited to hear what's going to happen through life groups. Don't forget about Saturday. It's another opportunity for us to do some ministry. Bloom Trail High School, 8 a.m. to do a food distribution. I'm excited for where God's taking us. I hope you're ready, willing, able, getting dissatisfied, and just with our life, because I believe God has more for us, and I want you to join me on that journey. Love you guys. Have a great life group.